We're back again.
We are back, and we are not together.
No, we are not. There is officially a screen between us, but
there is.
I am snowed in here at Branson. We've got like 3 inches of ice on the ground, and I'm over it.
I'm over it too. So
fully over it. But how are you? How are things on yonder down the road?
I'm so cold. I feel like whatever I try to do, like I cannot get warm. I'm just cold. How are you?
Too. I'm okay. I'm normally a cold weather person, and this is too much. I'm over it.
You're a cold weather person? Like you like the winter?
Well, I think I like the fall. I like the fall clothing. I like the fall vibes. Definitely not a spring person, but I am officially over the winter. Like once we have snow, like one good snow, and I'm like, okay, let's move on straight to summer.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
I love spring, and I love fall, and I love summer, and I hate winter.
Fantastic.
Basically, I love like the greenery of the spring, like all the flowers and the trees are blooming and the temperature and all that fun stuff. But I hate the winter. Everything is just ugly.
Cute for me.
Well,
the spring. There's too colorful. It's too
You're
pastel-y.
Just negative. You're just negative.
If all the flowers were black, I think I would enjoy it more.
Oh my god.
I don't have any other news. Do you? I feel like we should just jump into this.
No, I feel like we need to jump in. We have a lot going on today with recording. So, yeah, let's do it. What are you drinking? What is your something spiked?
Well, let's start with this cup. It says Blessed Nana. Guys,
you are a blessed Nana.
Let me tell you. If there was ever a vibe that fit my aesthetic, it's this cup.
That is it.
I'm in the process of moving, so guys, just bear with me. I'm drinking one of my redneck sangrias again. It is vodka and mint cucumber sparkling water, which is my new favorite, with some lime juice.
Good.
And it was about this. Well, for people who can't see and aren't watching, it's a gigantic coffee tumbler. And
it's like a cup of vodka. Like a full cup of vodka.
Full thing of vodka with a splash of sparkling water. So that's where I'm at.
Well, I'm drinking tequila, soda water, and lime. So
delish. I'm jealous. So today we're doing a short, sinister story. Are we doing a drinking word?
I mean, we might as well.
Okay. What are your
Why
thoughts?
not?
I have one in mind, but I'm gonna be.
Yeah, we cannot use that word because I know that's exactly what you were thinking. Maybe like phase or
okay. Or how about the word full?
No. That's just like using the other word.
For people who are like, okay, bitch, spill the tea. We're doing our short, sinister story over full moons. All things full moons. We are deep diving. I talked to the moon today. They gave us consent to talk shit on them. So my thought was moon, but we will be sloshed.
We will be, hammered by the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason why I said phase was because like moon phase or phases or
okay, yeah, let's do
something like that. I think that will work, right?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right. Do you want me to do our disclaimer?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Our videos and podcasts are for entertainment purposes. All information discussed was found on the internet. Keep in mind, we will talk all things sinister that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Boom. So
boom.
We broke this up into different categories, and we each got assigned a category and did our own little research.
We did.
I made a note just to start at the beginning because there's different moons all throughout the year that we are going into. So by the time this airs in March, we will be under the worm moon, like one of those
sure will.
rubbery tubey creatures. It says, on the final full moon of winter, the ground is getting softer and the snow begins to thaw. Decide what you want to leave behind as you prepare for spring.
Yep. I love it. It's so sweet. Also, do you know where it got the name Worm Moon?
Because worms come out in the spring.
Worms do come out in the spring, but the Indians named it the Worm Moon, like the Native Americans. They named it the Worm Moon because, like, the paths, like the trails, would be covered in worms.
Ew.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, like, worms are coming up through the ground whenever it's soft and not frozen anymore, so it makes sense. And the next full moon is March 18th, so that Worm Moon is March 18th. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So this is like going to be coming out like right around then. Perfect timing.
Yeah. In March. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, let's do it. You're up.
All right. So, again, you know, we're talking about like the moon and we're talking about full moon and kind of all like the sinister stuff that goes on with the moon. And particularly for me, why people get crazy whenever there is a full moon and when it is that phase of the moon phasing. So, two drinks. All right. Everyone has heard, obviously, the phrase, people are crazy today, there must be a full moon. Well, apparently, there are some stats behind that. 81% of mental health professionals say that full moons make people crazy or sick, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I've never heard the sick part.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, 76% of healthcare professionals who have worked in an ER state that the ER visits are much higher on full moon days. So during that moon phase of a full moon, it's much higher.
Yeah. So. When I told my Nana we were doing this, was a paramedic. I've got family in the medical field, and they've always said that. That's where I got it from.
Yeah. Yeah. So dating back to 400 BC, physicians at the time state that behavioral or even health changes are blamed on the magnetic pull of the moon. So the word lunatic came from, obviously, the word moon, because if you think of moon in Latin, it's luna. So the term lunatic, or what it means, is not really a mentally ill person, but your mental state being altered, right? Yeah, that's where the term came from, which is just crazy to think about.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lunatic, luna, moon, it all makes sense.
Whoa.
I know. Apparently, too, crimes committed are much higher on full moon days as well. So during that phasing of the moon phases, crimes committed on full moons are much higher than every other day.
Huh. Is that just like any crime? Is it like burglary, or are they just like crime?
It just said crime, but I am going to talk a little bit more about like specifics.
Okay.
So research shows, obviously, for centuries, more assaults, traumas, like murders, and even suicides occurred during a full moon phase.
Oh my God. Yeah, dang. That was a good word.
I know. It really was. So, like, it's just wild to me. I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it's just crazy. So, a study was done between 1978 and 1982. The study was completed over multiple cities or multiple, like, police stations in the United States, and the study gathered all the crimes reported, within those years, but they wanted to primarily focus on the crime rate around the full moon phase.
Oh, shoot.
You're like so intrigued in the story. You're just
I know. I'm like, wow.
Okay, continue. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
I've already made up for like 20 drinks, so it's like...
I know. So the study concluded that the crimes were much higher on full moon days than any other day, and they tended to be more violent, too. These researchers said, and quote, the increased incidence of crimes on full moon days may be due to the human tidal waves similar to the ocean, which is caused by the gravitational pull of the moon. So we've all heard, during the full moon phase, and I'll drink to that in a second, the tidal waves in the ocean are much higher or much stronger. So that's why they think, people get kind of crazy is because the moon's energy and the tidal waves in a human.
Weird.
I know.
It's kind of freaky when you think about it. It's like outside forces controlling your body and your mood, which I'm also going to talk about later. So it's just crazy how it affects us so deeply.
It really, really is. One study, so outside of, the crimes, another study says that the animal bites are higher on full moon days. So I put on here, maybe werewolves are real.
Wait, like just any animal, like dogs will bite you?
It said like dogs, cats, horses, like animal bites are just higher on full moon days. Yeah.
I'm going to have to like watch my dog like during a full moon and see what he does.
I know. I am too. Like, do they act up? Are they wild? Do they get like the zoomies more? Like, what's going on?
The zoomies. Yeah, that's weird.
I know. Then I threw this in here too. You have crazy people like myself who charge moon water. So as we know, the moon is a powerful source of energy, as we've heard. And every moon phase has its pros and cons. So, the moon clearly has a lot of energy and can sway what people, think or don't think. And some people charge crystals and some people charge water to give them that extra energy. So I 100% believe in it, but...
I was gonna say, and some people just charge their phones like normal fucking people.
And some people just plug in their phone.
Yeah. But to each their own.
To each their own. So, all right, you're up.
Okay. Wow, that's really interesting, which we're going to elaborate more on your moon water shit later. But
that's fine.
Okay, so the next category is how the moon affects sleep. So this is coming from WebMD, so it's 1,000% legit.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So due to the change in the light pattern, so just if you're an idiot like me, when I read this sentence, it made sense, but I never thought about this. Like, the moon obviously produces no light. Any moonlight that comes from the moon is reflecting off of the sun. So due to the change in those light patterns, light increases from a new moon to a full moon. So that's why full moons are so bright. There's so much space on the moon for it to reflect, blah, blah, blah. It's pretty basic. And it's at its highest point shift. It goes from midday at its brightest to now midnight. And so at midnight, full moon, it is at its brightest. So that's kind of like when I think of like fairy tales and werewolves, like that's what I think of. So yeah. Anyways, Studies show that people sleep less during these times. Men specifically slept, this was after 2. These studies are really short. They monitor these people over 1 day. So like studies are kind of like, it could be real. It could also be not real.
Yeah, they're like, well, we're just going to try on this 1 day. And
yeah, we're just going to try and write it down and move on. So call it science. Here we are.
Right. Sounds like something else that just happened. 1 day. Huh.
Wow, Alexa, please don't get us canceled, okay?
You don't even know what I'm talking about. I could be talking about a drink experiment, first of all, that we did. Your damn redneck sangria over there.
Phase, 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 phase.
Phase.
Everybody get wasted. Okay. So men slept 21 minutes less, women slept 12 minutes less because we're already crazy. I'm just kidding. That wasn't in the study. I added that. Okay.
I mean, but why are we crazy? Because men make us crazy.
Yeah. It's because the men are getting so much sleep and we're jealous and we're the ones like probably doing productive shit during those extra 10 minutes that you guys are sleeping. Hence, women are seen as crazy. It's science, guys.
Science.
It's in a WebMD study, okay?
Fauci said it.
Oh, wait, hold on. We have Fauci on the phone. Hold on.
Oh, men are crazy? Oh, okay. They make women... Oh, they make women crazy? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Lord Fauci. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, it was great doing this last podcast with you. Staying on track. Okay. The reverse is also said during other moons. So it's not just that, during this one time you guys did a sleep study and people slept more. It also shows that people slept in excess during other phases. So, it also takes people longer to fall asleep, and that's supposed to be because of how much light is coming in. It disrupts
all the energy.
Sleep. Yeah, and it also interferes with your REM cycle during a full moon, which kind of plays into what you were talking about with like people being crazy. You're getting less sleep. There's illumination. There's all this energy, and obviously lack of sleep can lead to like other health issues, which brings me to my next point. So, few explanations for all of this. Moonlight, we already went over that. Electromagnetism. So, this is from sleepfoundation.org. Negative charges from a full moon are caused by solar winds. So, the winds and everything rotating and shit in space, blah, blah, blah. So... That was that quote.
Great job, Bill Nye. Great job.
Guys, if you're coming here for the facts, you're really the one that's wrong, not us.
Yeah, not us. We are always right.
Yes. So this is a direct quote. The moon's magnetic charge can then influence Earth's electromagnetic field through a sophisticated feedback process. End quote. Humans are sensitive to low-level geomagnetic variations, which cause sleep deprivation, headaches, changes in blood pressure, blood flow, heart rate, heart attack, inflammation, hormones, DNA breaks, and ultimately mental health due to everything else we've talked about. So whether you want to call it like this electromagnetism or energies or whatever, all of this is affected, or we're always affected by it. So, last point on the sleep aspect of things is gravity. So, we are mostly made of water, as we've stated. I think it's like 75%. Don't quote me. I'm not a doctor or an intelligent person. So,
yep.
Okay. Lunar phases have a major impact on the tides, as we've talked about, and it can especially affect people of smaller stature. So to all my shorties out there, sorry. But as far as like out of the 3 topics, moonlight, electromagnetism, and gravity, it said that any effect that these people are seeing, that they are like, oh, it's because there's a full moon or a lunar, blah, 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 whatever. it's unlikely to be just from the gravity alone. It's usually mainly from the light, the energy. And the what was it? Geomagnetic variations. So
yeah,
interesting. Are scientists.
We are. Just call us Bill Nye.
Yeah, we need a cute little jingle.
Yeah, we do. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Cadence and Alexa try to talk about science.
Oh, God, we'd be fired.
Okay.
Anyway, okay.
Moving
on to the next one. Next bullet. Fertility. This goes hand in hand, like, with science. Like, we are moving right down the right path.
We should be teachers.
Can we, like, teach true crime in high school? Like,
yes.
Would that be a
How
thing?
to get away. Oh, in fact, sorry, quick detour in this. We were watching this horrible movie that was supposedly a true story, and I can't remember the name, but it was about this husband who cheats on his wife with this, like, 16-year-old waitress.
Oh, my gosh.
The wife is crazy and wants to play a prank. Okay? Horrible. This whole thing is stupid. It was the worst movie. Wants to play a prank on the girl by capturing her and, like, scaring her and being like, we know what you did, don't come back, in hopes that, like, the husband will stop cheating. And obviously shit goes wrong, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
What in the world?
I literally forgot where I was going with this story.
Okay.
We're talking about fertility. Okay. Oh, that's what it was. And, like, we should teach. So the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm sitting there with Nana and her friend Barbara, and I'm like, nope, that's wrong. Nope, that's not how you hide a body. Nope, there's fingerprints there. Nope. And they're like, are you okay?
You're like, no, I'm not. I'm like, basically a criminologist.
Yes, I was like, they would have been caught in 5 minutes if I was on the case. Like, anyways.
Wow, all of that for that. Good job.
Sorry.
Tell it again. Tell it again.
Anyways, this is going to be a normal length episode. Go ahead.
All right, fertility. Fertility and the moon. So, menstrual cycles, if we think about a menstrual cycle, somehow they tend to sync with moon cycles. So if we think about the average woman's cycle, it's about 29 days. And if we think about an average moon cycle, it's 29 days as well, from waxing to waning, or from full moon to the new moon phase.
And just for the people listening, because I had to Google it, do you want to explain waxing and waning?
Yeah, I don't know which way is which, but the waxing and
waxing is getting brighter.
Okay.
Sorry, I'll explain.
Is getting
waxing
dimmer.
Is when the moon is getting brighter, and waning is when it's waning from the light and it's getting darker. Dimmer, darker, whatever. So you'll hear a lot of that. Well, if you Google it. I didn't put that in because I hate saying waxing and waning. But
I know. That's why I kind of like the new moon to full moon phase, even though it's like not whatever. So
you said phase. Oh wow, we're a shit show. Anyways, fertility. Here we go.
Fertility. So for hundreds of years, a connection has been made with the moon tides along with internal tides of a woman's cycle. We kind of talked about the tides previously, but Charles Darwin even researched this back in the 1800s. He stated that full moons peak fertility in women. Which is just kind of crazy. Like, back in the 1800s, that they were even looking into this.
They're out in the moonlight like, oh, give me a baby.
Yeah, they're like, I'm ready.
Make me pregnant.
So in 1986, another study was published. So we've talked a lot about studies, but 826 women were part of the study. Only 24% of them started their period on a full moon, And the other 76% of women were in their fertility peak window, which is just wild to think about. So again, it's like 80%. I mean, it says 76 and 24, but rounding up, 80% of women are in that fertility peak window with a full moon. So ladies, watch out. Don't have sex when there's a full moon.
Yes, because your man's probably going to be asleep and you're going to be up all night being crazy. So just avoid people on a full moon. Just
avoid it all. Avoid it all. So yeah, it proves, that typically women are fertile during a full moon phase.
Wow.
And I said phase. Most women are fertile between the cycle days 12 to 14, which tend to be obviously again when a full moon occurs. Just so if you all don't know when you're fertile, a woman will start their cycle on a new moon typically, and then they will be fertile on the full moon. So again, 12 to 14 days after the new moon. Also, a full moon not only impacts fertility, but it also impacts what gender you're going to have if you do get pregnant, which is kind of crazy. So, apparently a full moon will predict whether or not you have a male or a female. Sorry, go ahead and then I'll ask. Yeah, so a study in India observed 42 women who conceived within 24 hours of a full moon. So either 24 hours before a full moon or the day of, or 24 hours after a full moon. 40 of these women had boys. And only 2 of these women had girls.
So what you're saying is if you have your baby within the full moon phase,
if you conceive, Yes, you conceive
within the 24 hours before or after the full moon, then you're more than likely to have a boy.
Yes.
Well, good to know for people who want to have kids and not have a boy.
Yeah. But they did another study of another 42 women, and 3 days prior to a full moon, all women that conceived 3 days prior to a full moon, it was kind of it wasn't like half and half, but 29 women had girls, and then 13 women had boys. So it seemed to have been, from what I read, if you conceive, earlier and, the conceive window to a full moon, you're going to have a girl. But if you conceive on a full moon, you're going to have a boy.
I'm going to have to Google that for my sister. I'm going to be like, when exactly did you conceive your children? Because not only did she have girls, she had 2 of them. So,
yeah, and then look at that window.
Yeah, weird.
So, that's my science talk about fertility and the moon.
Nice. Well, now we're moving completely away from science. And our last category are lunar superstitions and folklore.
Love it.
So these are just kind of going to be, I elaborate on some of these, but for the most part, it's just like a list. So you can like interrupt me and be like, whoa, what? Okay. So can I get a whoop whoop? Okay. Okay, so this actually comes straight from the Farmer's Almanac, and I don't know.
Wait, what'd you say?
Did I say it wrong? The Almanac?
Almanac? It's almanac.
You know what?
The Farmer's Almanac.
Almond. Don't come for me, okay? People in California used to make fun of me because I'd say almond, and they're like, "No, it's almond," and I'm like, "No, it's almond." And
I say almond.
I don't. I do now because I was bullied into saying it, but fucking Californians. Okay, so
they're also all serial killers, so
yeah. So like, who cares what they say? Actually, I put Farmer's almanac and other sources, but most of this comes from that. And like, I don't know if listeners have ever looked into the Farmer's Almanac, but it's freaky.
It's so accurate every year.
It predicts everything. So,
yep.
Okay, so it's good luck. These are signs of good luck. If you some of these are weird. I just can't imagine like doing some of these things. Exposing a newborn to a waxing moon, which again is the start of a full moon. Good luck. So like you literally just hold your baby up to the moonlight.
Like Simba.
Yes. Nice a full moon. Okay. I won't sing anymore. Moving into a new home because there's a prosperity increase. Seeing the moonlight on foliage. I guess this is a phrase, clear of the brush. I've never heard that. Apparently it's a thing. This is a weird one. It is especially lucky to have rabbit feet. You know, everyone's heard that. But if said rabbit was killed in a cemetery by a cross-eyed person at the dark of the moon. So whether that be the dark of the moon before or right after a full moon.
Okay.
So good luck with
that. So that is good luck or bad luck?
That's good luck. If your rabbit feet that you carry, if that rabbit was killed in the cemetery by a cross-eyed person.
Okay. Because that is going to happen.
Yeah, right. You can reveal the future by having a moonstone in your mouth during a full moon. Don't choke.
Let's try it.
Yeah, right? I mean, I will literally find a dead rabbit in a cemetery that was...
No, dummy, the moonstone in your mouth.
In your mouth?
It's just a stone, like a crystal.
Okay. That is going to be the Instagram highlight right there. Okay. Men, she's married. Just don't. Okay. So, moving on. Having a full moon on a Monday, which is considered Moon Day.
Moon Day.
Woo! Planting crops that grow above the ground while the moon is waxing so that it pulls the plant out of the ground to go bigger, and conversely planting root crops while the moon is waning so that veggies will grow deeper into the ground. So,
makes sense.
You plant shit.
Yeah.
You should take coins out of your pocket to save for the next month, which honestly is just a great financial tip to begin with. Full moon or not. Who wants to carry around loose change?
Oh my god.
And
continue.
Last of it is the 5th day after... Oh, this kind of goes along with what you were talking about. The 5th day after a full moon is a great time to get pregnant.
Because you are no longer in the fertility stage.
Yes. So they highly recommend the 5th day. Next, moving on, the bad luck. So seeing a full moon on a Sunday is bad luck. Being in the moon... You don't believe that?
No.
Why? This is the Farmer's Almanac.
Well, the almanac isn't the almanac, so...
So it's wrong. Seeing, back to the whole moonlight on the foliage thing, seeing moonlight on foliage but through a window is bad luck. So if you're like looking outside and you're like, shit, I saw the moonlight on a tree. However, there's good news. In order to cure that bad luck, you can just break one of your dishes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Opa.
To sleep or be born in the moonlight. So don't do that.
Okay.
Pointing at the new moon or any moon over your shoulder. Like, hey, that guy back there is full. Don't do that. That's bad luck.
Okay.
Seeing, quote, the old moon in the arms of the new moon, or like a slight image of the full disk while the new... So basically when the moon is going through its phases, if you witness that and it's going into a full moon, bad luck.
Okay.
Oh, especially if you're a sailor. That means the storms are coming.
Storm is a coming.
A lot of farmers, veterinarians, whoever does this, they refuse to castrate livestock during certain phases of a full moon specifically because animals, it's alleged that animals will bleed out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I would avoid that.
How crazy. Yeah,
Yes.
I would avoid that too.
So, you may be asking yourself, then what should I do during a full moon? I'm here
Charge
to tell
your water.
Charge that water. Charge that water. Okay, so this kind of goes back to the energies and everything. You should meditate. You should release, let things go. You should set intentions, or you should hold a moon circle. What's a moon circle, Cadence? So you basically do all the things I just said, but with a group of people or people who are like-minded. If you have a naysayer in the group, probably don't do a moon circle with me. So,
Yeah.
But it's like a manifestation ritual. Sometimes people have altars or like a sacred place in their home to speak stuff into existence. And then crystals are huge. Get your crystals out during full moons. And then the last is you should take a moon bath. And my notes literally say LOL at Alexa.
Do you know what a moon bath is?
Well, I literally didn't describe moon water or moon baths because I was going to leave that for you. So right now.
Oh, okay. A moon bath is where you take a bath with your charged moon water.
Which explain, how do you charge moon water?
So you have to have spring water. You cannot use tap water or distilled water, and you put it in either a glass jar or something clear. You don't want to put it in plastic because plastic is bad, and you put it under the moon light. And you let it charge, and you put it out prior to the peak of the full moon, and you have to bring it in before the sunlight hits it. So
there you go.
That's it.
Okay. So
and it's good for not only you, but plants, too.
Yes. I charged moon water once at the request of Alexa, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was great.
It helped you.
My plants are great. So, so these are things you should avoid during a full moon.
Oh.
Starting anything new, because this is a time to relax and reflect. Don't do new things. There's also a lot of intense energies, so starting new things could send you into stress and anxiety.
Yep.
Don't overwork, don't overstress, and don't make any major life changes or life decisions. And then very last category is the folklore of this all. So where do we get these stories? Where did this whole moon thing come from? So you mentioned this earlier, but the moon was sort of seen as a deity deriving from the goddess Luna, meaning lunatic. It inspired writings like Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which is the werewolf. He turns into a werewolf at midnight. He commits crimes and murder or whatever. I didn't read it. So, some Native American cultures believe the moon is held captive by a hostile tribe, hoping that antelopes rescue the moon and take it to the good tribe. But sometimes that pesky coyote interferes and tosses the moon into a river where the antelope can't reach it.
Okay.
So there's that.
That's
and
sad.
Then we've all heard of Man on the Moon. It comes from the idea that there are moon men, and there's a ton of variations from this.
Man.
Yes. Well, yes. Okay.
The little blue man that lives on the moon.
And depending on where the story is coming from, it could be that this man was caught stealing, committing a crime, and then I think it's Chinese culture that he drank an immortality potion and he was banished to the moon. That was his punishment for committing all of this stuff. There's the term once in a blue moon. So every second full moon in a calendar year or in a calendar month occurs, and this occurs every 2 to 3 years, we get what's called a blue moon. So we get the term once in a blue moon. That's really not folklore. It's just where that term comes from.
Yeah,
so
where it came from.
Really not important. Last two is green cheese. The theory that the moon is made of cheese due to how it looks.
Oh.
And then the little green man and the moon is believed to actually be an alien spaceship. And that's why there's like holes and faces and all of this, or like aliens are carving out their civilization. And last but not least, werewolves.
Werewolves on the moon?
No, not werewolves on the moon. That the moon affects werewolves. That moon, like,
they howl at the moon.
They create werewolves. They come out like at midnight during a full moon.
Yeah, they do.
And they kill people. There's your murder!
Okay, so serious question.
Okay.
Do you think we landed on the moon? Do you think people have landed on the moon?
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about this when I was doing my research. I definitely have my doubts. I think
I do too.
So here's my thing about like government and like country conspiracies is
it's all a lie.
Everything's fake. Other than the fact that we might be in a simulation, I think that it is important for countries or like governments to keep secrets from their people because
absolutely they don't want like mass hysteria.
Right. But I do think the moon landing has some major proof against it, at least for the U.S. Because of the picture proof, the drone proof, the documented proof. I just have my doubts. Faux show.
Me too. I have my doubts. You know, just believe whatever the Simpsons say.
The Simpsons?
They always seem to be right. They always seem to be able to predict the future. So just believe it all. Whatever they say is right.
It's funny you say that. So currently, and I personally don't want to get into the Ukraine situation.
No, let's not go there right now.
But someone created a meme that said we're living in a South Park episode. And I was like, oh my God, all of these adult cartoons are literally controlling our lives.
Yeah, South Park and The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. Well, that is it on the moon.
That is it.
Yes. So, I'll start with our Patreon because that's all that I really know. So thank you so much to people who subscribe to our Patreon. We made some major changes. There is a $1 donation, a $5 entry level, and then a $10 VIP. As of right now, I'm pretty sure our Patreon exists with all $10 VIPs. So thank you guys for supporting the podcast. It pays for us to host and do everything that we do. So if you want to join or do that dollar donation, then you can go to Something Sinister podcast.com or like any of our social media sites will link to our Patreon. So go do that.
And then, of course, our continued sponsor, Color Up CBD. They have natural and organic CBD and make skincare and dog products and tinctures. So it's all natural and organic. Won't hurt you. ColorUpCo.com or Color Up CBD on Instagram. Use code Sinister20 to get 20% off.
Do it. Their products rock. So
they really do. They really do.
Well, that's it. We are recording back-to-back episodes, so
we are.
You definitely want to tune in for the next one. Considering it's gonna
be lit. It's gonna be lit.
All right, guys. We will see you next week.
Stay sinister.
Bye.